We're going live, and we are quite near instant.
No. Uh, I need to open YouTube.
All right. Okay, my monitoring seems to be up. Hello and welcome, and you're listening. Well, you're kind of watching. Whoever's watching, TechENT Tech and Tonic Podcast. Well, mostly you're gonna be listening because this is a podcast, and we're gonna publish it later anyway. And today we have a very special. No, we don't have a very special guest. It's back to me and Jeevan and Craig, of course, because we are doing this over Discord, and Craig is recording our every conversation, just like a government bug would. But it's not a government bug, thank goodness. But speaking of which, we don't have guests today, so it's just gonna be us, and it's going to be a very short session today. Hopefully, it works. And Selamat Hari Raya and Happy Aidil Fitri to all our Muslim friends, to whichever Muslim friends that are listening to us at this time. I hope you have a great time. Even at this time of quarantine, state sanctions for quarantine, and staying at home. At least you're with your family, right? I mean, that's not so bad, at least. But if you're not, I hope that you're staying safe. It's still very important for you to stay safe. If you can't see your family, I mean, you still can do it over the phone. You can talk to them over the phone. You can find them on Discord, or you can do
Or you
Google
can
Hangouts with
video
them.
call.
Yeah, video calls with them. Whatever video calls that you prefer anyway, and it still works. So yeah, like me, I'm seeing Jivan right now on Discord screen. Yeah. So, Jeevan, what has happened last week?
What has happened last week? A lot of GTA
Yeah.
and Origin not allowing me to sign in and install Star Wars.
Mm-hmm. Oh
But
yeah,
other
he
than that,
he got a new Asus Tough
tough
Gaming laptop
gaming
that's powered
laptop.
by AMD's Ryzen 4000 mobile CPU series to review. So that is coming up very soon. But
Yep.
yeah, he had trouble getting into the laptop and getting some stuff installed to game
Yeah.
last night. But what else has
Yeah.
happened, like internationally, news wise? What has happened?
So news wise, we had AMD in the news
Mm-hmm.
for being controversial about their motherboard support. So the new generation of processors may not be supported by the 4400 series graphics and 400 series motherboards
Mm-hmm.
because of a BIOS issue. But
Yep.
they have said that they will try to support it now.
Yeah. And
Uh,
from the last I heard, they said that they're going to try to support. They are most probably going to support the current motherboards just so that people can upgrade. But the current users have to remove something on the motherboard.
yeah.
Either
So
that
they
or add something.
the biggest problem is that the BIOS is really really small
Yeah. And
and
it's
it doesn't have
old.
enough and it doesn't have enough space for the new drivers for the chips.
Yep.
But because AMD said that they are going to support this particular socket, the AM4 socket,
Yep.
until for all their releases until 2020, they technically have to give the support for the new chips on the BIOS.
Well, I think that's a bit of a it's a bit of a stretch here lah, because it's 2020 and this release for the new AMD 4000 series desktop CPUs, I actually think that it's for 2021 more than 2020.
So
Don't you think?
yeah, I I agree, but at the same time, we're dealing with a lot of people saying that, oh, this is AMD going against their promise and stuff like that, which it doesn't make sense for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's holding them accountable for what they have promised, lah.
Yeah, that is true. While I agree that is true, but the problem is the current BIOS that the AMD Ryzen 3000 series has the X470 motherboards and the B530, I think, if I'm not wrong.
430.
430, is it 430?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the B series and the X series motherboards, right? I think what the problem is, they're not modern enough. I mean, you have PCIe 4 support and stuff like that. This is tech talk here, okay? This is technical talk right here. But I think not enough leh. I think not
Yeah,
modern enough leh.
yeah, and very likely, like what we've seen in the past, a lot of the features will come with the newer motherboards
Most
instead
likely.
of being backwards compatible.
Yeah, and
The
hopefully the
future-proof motherboards.
Thunderbolt support comes too for AMD motherboards and AMD processors, because that's still a thing that Intel doesn't want AMD to have,
Yeah,
right? So
and also AMD also is pushing PCI 4,
yeah,
which will definitely come only with the new motherboard. It
correct,
won't come with the current generation.
correct. And the newer motherboards will support more RAM support anyway. The RAM, getting more RAM sticks and a higher bandwidth of RAM and whatever not, faster RAMs. So
Yeah,
I think it makes sense lah for them to move away from the 400 series, the X430, the X470 and the B430 motherboards.
yeah.
I think
So
that's
for
to me.
for me, it makes sense, but also it gives AMD has to do this just because they have a lot of fan support right now,
Yeah, that is true.
and they need to maintain it to make sure that their generation of new motherboards and chips are actually successful.
Yeah. So if they can actually allow an AM4 socket support with the older
Mm-hmm.
motherboards, right? I think a lot of people are going to be very happy and they're going to upgrade to a 4000 motherboard in
Yeah,
expense of a few features lah, I think. And of course, they probably have to do some electrical engineering on their own, which might
yeah,
not be very recommended for a lot of electrical engineers and a lot of repair people. But anyway, it's okay. We'll only get the news, I think, about end of this week, right? Whether
yeah.
whether or not
This
what's
week,
yeah, and we're going to get some news on the Radeon graphics card as well. Now, Nvidia has conquered this space for a long time, so I'm quite excited to see what's what, right?
yeah,
And Xiaomi actually had a fanfare, a global launch of something last week as well, right? Jiven, you watched that?
yeah. They had the MIUI 12 launch, and
Yes.
I think my message to you during the launch was pretty much what summarized most of the launch.
Yes, he texted me
It's
that it was purely visual upgrades.
Yeah, so it's a lot. Xiaomi spent a lot of time talking about animations,
Mm,
making it more fluid, making it more organic when you are using your phone.
right. So making it more
But
vanilla.
no,
Oh,
their version of making it more fluid is to include more animations in between.
so not making it more vanilla, more chocolate.
Somewhere in between milk chocolate. So they
Or do you
are
remember the unicorn rainbow ice creams that we had from Pedal Pop?
yes,
So it's
that
something
would
like that.
yes.
Oh wow.
So basically what they're doing is they're adding a lot of layers of animations
Mm-hmm.
from launching your app all the way to how your icons interact when you tilt your phone.
Huh?
Yeah.
Right. So okay. Let me get this straight. So they're adding more animation rather than making it lighter on Android.
Yeah, which is what I was thinking. I'm like, you're adding a lot more layers of animations. Wouldn't that mean your lower end devices would be affected even more?
Yeah, but that's another question though, because would you see these animation in your lower end devices? Because Samsung has their One UI 2.0 now, right? And you can
Mm-hmm.
see the full beans of it, like the full use of it in things like Samsung Galaxy Note 20. No, Note 10 right now. Note 10, yes.
Yeah.
And then the Samsung Galaxy S20. Okay, these are the higher end devices, and you can see the whole thing of One UI 2.0. You can see everything. You get the full
Mm-hmm.
features, right? And then you go to lower tier devices like the Samsung Galaxy A, the Samsung Galaxy, the entry levels. I forgot what they're called actually.
There's still Galaxy A.
Yeah. Okay. So the Galaxy A devices, even the lower end ones, okay, you're not going to get like the full version of the One UI 2.0, right? You're still going to get One UI. It's just that you're getting different features. You're not getting everything that the One UI posed to be for the Samsung Galaxy S and the Note series. So would we see something like that from Xiaomi?
If we go off on what they did in the past,
Mm-hmm.
I would say no, because their MIUI is standard across all their devices, even their lower end ones.
Right. So what does
But
this
at the
mean?
I would think that while I am a fan of how MIUI looks,
Mm-hmm.
I am not a fan of too much animation. But
Right.
that said, Xiaomi has done something really interesting with MIUI,
Mm-hmm.
in that because of the amount of emphasis they have put into animations,
Mm-hmm.
they have made it so that when your curved screen or your rounded screen is hitting the edge of the screen,
Right.
you are actually getting every single pixel on the edge.
Ah, okay, that's interesting. That's at
Yeah,
least some improvement there, I guess.
it is.
Okay.
And but at the same time, I'm like, how much power will MIUI take, given that they basically redesigned a kernel to
Mm-hmm.
handle animations better.
Okay. Which
Uh,
also I assume will draw more power from the CPU, from the processor itself, and the GPU.
yes, yes, naturally, because we know that when you cause things to process more,
Mm-hmm.
you generally will use up more power.
Right. So
And even this things like your weather and stuff like that are very dynamic
right.
in
Mm-hmm.
animation, and it takes over your it basically, when you click the animation, the the icon itself fluidly jumps into the app.
Right.
So instead of popping out of the icon, it literally arcs out of the icon onto your screen.
Okay. That's I think something that a lot of people have been implementing. It's just that they've been doing it very subtly, right? Even like the One UI or even Apple's iOS or even Huawei, it arcs out. It's just that it's that is done so fast that you don't actually see it,
Yeah.
right? It
Same
just
thing with
basically
MIUI.
expands. So it's not
Same thing
just
with MIUI 12.
okay.
But for me, the most exciting bit of MIUI 12, which is for I would have spent more time talking about this, is Xiaomi is giving more control of background apps
Mm-hmm,
to the user. So like if apps suddenly pull your mic
mm-hmm.
in the background, you will actually get a notification on your notification bar that this app is using your mic,
Okay.
and you can click that notification and turn that app off.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So they're giving more granular control of privacy to users, but they didn't spend much time talking about it. They have things that really make sense, in my opinion, when it comes to giving you more control of what is running in the background,
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that your apps are not running using your camera, your phone, your location without you knowing.
Yep. Okay, that makes sense. I
Yeah,
mean, that's what we all users want sometimes, right? More control over everything so that we just have basically control over our phones lah, so that our phones don't control us so much lah, at least, right?
yeah,
Especially at
that's
this day and
basically.
age. And it's quite scary because suddenly you have an app that suddenly says, oh, your microphone is being used. For what?
Yeah. Eh, you're it's basically what's happening with Windows as well now. When you use Windows, you'll see a microphone at the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
and then you'll see the randomest apps. Like the other day, I had Razer Synapse using my microphone.
No, what the worst part is that Adobe Premiere Pro used my webcam.
For what?
I have no idea. So when you install all these antiviruses that you have these days, what we are using now is a Kaspersky one, or how do you
Mhm.
pronounce it? Kaspersky. Kaspersky. So we're using that one, okay? And Kaspersky basically notifies you when it uses certain things like mics and cameras of your device, okay? Even if your thing is not turned on, okay? So right now I'm using my webcam, but there's a light that's on to tell me that it's recording, that the PC is actually using the webcam and the mic to record my face and my voice. Well, obviously I'm using my different mic now, but Kaspersky basically notifies you every time another app tries or not tries or gains access to something in your PC. Okay, an app in your PC, probably a webcam or things like that. So if you own a laptop, you already have a webcam, you already have a mic. Okay, and Kaspersky will tell you when something uses them. And every time I turn on something like an Adobe Premiere Pro and things like that, sometimes the Kaspersky thing will pop up and says, "Oh, this app is using your webcam." I didn't turn on my webcam.
That's the creepiest part when you didn't turn it on and then it suddenly notifies you that it's being used.
And the best part is that all these apps are now infinitely online. Right? You can only use some of these apps online now. You cannot turn them off. You're constantly connected. So what's it feeding data to? Especially
Yeah.
your phone, you're always on data.
Yep.
Data is
And
practically limitless these days.
Android, a few of the apps we know have requested for permission for your camera, your mic, and things like that. That you don't know how they're using it.
Yeah. But the thing is,
And
if you don't allow them, you can't use them.
yeah.
Yeah, so these are the
So
catch.
another thing for MIUI 12 is that it finally has an app drawer.
Oh, finally. That's nice.
Yes. So
So they are going
something
the
that
route of Oppo.
their implementation is more Huawei's implementation.
Huawei still doesn't have a app drawer though.
They do. You can turn it on and off in the settings. I think it's going to be off by default though for MIUI.
Yeah, I mean, at least for a lot of the manufacturers, even like Oppo's one, you still can't turn it on, but it's off by default. You can turn it on quite easily. It's just that you have to dig into the settings. So I think
Yeah,
for MIUI, they are going to implement that as well. That's not surprising. It's just that, oh, finally.
that's the thing. Finally, they're finally doing it. So, like when we review Xiaomi devices, we're always like, I need my app drawer,
Mm,
and we finally have the app drawer. I don't know whether we can customize it, but Xiaomi says that it will automatically sort your apps for you.
okay. Okay, that's
So
fine. I
yeah,
think that's more the route of what Android does on its vanilla devices anyway lah. Cause they don't allow you to. So for one UI, if you're using a Samsung device, you can organize your app drawer on your own. So my Samsung device, my Samsung Galaxy Note 9, my app drawer is just one page. For other devices, a lot of the other devices, you can't really manage your app drawer to that point where you can put folders in your app drawer. So
yeah,
it's basically just apps, random amount of apps you have to scroll down or scroll to the side endlessly, right? If you have a
yeah.
thousand apps, that's what you get.
Oh,
But
oh my god, good luck with the scrolling.
yeah, well, it allows the phones nowadays allows you to have about 1,000 apps anyway because 512 gigabytes, 256 gigabytes.
Yeah,
Come on, that's the size of a laptop.
that is true. And but at the same time, we also had Honor doing announcements as well.
Oh
I
yeah,
think this one you the events basically happened at the same time. So
yes.
this was what you were watching.
Yes, I
So
was
what
watching that.
happened?
It's basically Honor Life. Okay, they announced a few laptops that to replace the old Magic Books, right? Obviously, but they come with pretty good specs. They come with 10th generation Intel, obviously. Okay, and one of them came with an MX350, which is something very new. I mean, it's not something very new in the market, but in the market segment here in Malaysia, right? It's the first time we're seeing an MX350.
Yeah.
and being sold at the price that they're being sold. I mean, there's no Malaysian pricing yet, but from the looks of it, it's very cheap. It's going to be below 4,000 ringgit and it's very, very cheap. You get an MX 350 and an i7 for a laptop that's no
That's not bad.
thicker than your phone, basically. You're getting an Ultrabook with that kind of specs and it's very, very, very cheap, right? And I thought that it can't go cheaper than Huawei's MateBook Pro already, right? But this one's even cheaper. So,
Mm-hmm.
how lah? So, I mean, if for a lot of people who are looking for a new laptop right now and you don't want to spend like an arm and a leg for a new Ultrabook because Ultrabooks can be very expensive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Ultrabooks can be very expensive, but um, the point is you want something affordable because laptops now are exorbitant in pricing, especially if you want thin and light and you need to work
Yeah.
with it, right? And sometimes you want some video editing capabilities just so that you can have more flexibility with it and you can game with it, right? So especially Dota and whatnot lah, very easy. But getting an ultrabook for less than 4,000 ringgit is unheard of. Is really unheard
Yeah.
of. So if you're looking for something that fits your price range right now and you want something reliable, something that's quite proven to be okay, I think you can look into the Huawei's because we saw the Huawei launching these few notebooks last week or 2 weeks ago, right? But now Honor came up and says that, oh yeah, we can produce these at cheaper prices. Why not, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're at a tight budget, and you're still gonna get
Yeah.
Windows anyway, okay? You don't have to worry about, oh, what if they don't have Windows support now?
That is very true.
What are you gonna use, Mac?
That will be interesting though if one of them turns around and be like, "Oh, we're using Mac OS."
Yeah, but they cannot copy the design then. But anyway, yeah, they're gonna get infringements. But still, it's a good alternative for you to look into. I mean, if you don't really mind the branding that comes out, like when you open your laptop, Honor at the back there or Huawei at the back there, if you don't really mind, I think that's not too bad of too big of an issue. And you're not getting like an a regular display also. One of their laptops, I think, is a 16.1 inch. 16.1 inch. Not
Not
15
bad.
ah. Not 15.6 ah. Not
Eh,
14.1.
yeah, where did they get the extra point
I
5
I
inches?
I honestly have no idea, but they say that it's a 16.1 inch display. Uh, if I remember correctly, it's full HD. If not, it's 2K. If it's 2K, it's really nice. But if I remember correctly, it's full HD lah. Okay, 16.1 full HD, 100% sRGB, which is nice, right? You can
Very
do
nice.
Photoshop with it and things like that. But other things they launched was also quite interesting because they started launching smart home products, home
Yeah,
appliances.
when I saw this announcement, I was like, Honor is trying to pull a Xiaomi.
Yes, except that you can't really I don't know whether you can control them with phones or not. So I don't know how smart they are for now. Okay, but they have a very interesting bladeless fan, and we're not even sure whether all these things are coming to Malaysia or not. They have the router that mimics the Huawei ones also. They haven't done the rice cooker, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and the washer. Okay, but they have a vacuum cleaner that would last about 65 minutes, if I'm not wrong. That's good for not just an apartment. I think it's good for a double-story home already to clean,
Yep.
right? And what else do they have? An electric toothbrush. I don't know why. Okay,
A
I still don't know
vacuum.
why that's a thing. Okay, but they have the most interesting to me is the vacuum and the bladeless fan and a television.
Interesting.
Yeah. So the
And they also
television
I
is even more interesting because the Vision X1 that they're launching is
mhm.
supposedly an 8K TV.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and the prices that after conversion, the prices are no more than 3,000 ringgit. 8K TV. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 55 inch. I think we know where to look lah for our next TV in the office.
Yeah. An 8K TV at less than 4,000 ringgit is unheard of.
Yes, it's not even unheard of. It's quite impossible these days. So the next best thing for 8K TV that's available in Malaysia is Samsung's 8K QLED TV. Is it QLED or Quantum dot
QLED.
QLED TV, right?
Yeah.
So the 8K QLED TV sells for roughly 50,000.
I think the cheapest one at this point is still a 4K TV at about 4,000 ringgit.
No, no, the 8K ones.
The 8K ones I think start at about 6 or 7,000.
Yeah, so that's the cheapest one, and that's very small. Okay, if you want to go slightly bigger for I think 65-inch one, it's going to cost you. Okay, and the most expensive one that they have, 100-inch or something like that, is about 85K.
It's the price of a car.
Yeah, or a small house or a really small house, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, it but so when even the LG ones that they announced in Korea, right? It's not cheap. It's really not cheap because they are using them as reference monitors, using them as reference TVs for movie productions or TV series productions, basically production houses lah. But the one that comes out from Honor is less than 3,000 ringgit. Doesn't make sense ah. I don't know, but we'll wait for it to come, right?
Yeah. Speaking of TVs also, Samsung announced the Terrace, which
What's
is
that?
an outdoor IP55 rated T quantum dot TV,
Outdoor
but it's only
TV.
4K.
Outdoor TV.
Yes.
Why do we need an outdoor TV? Oh wait, no,
Cause
for us to play outside.
yes, cause like when you're outside and you are trying to swim in the pool while catching your favorite football game, or maybe you are trying to catch your favorite drama while sitting in the jacuzzi, you want a TV.
You can put a jacuzzi in your bathroom if you have big enough bathroom and put a TV there too.
Yeah, and it's 3,499 US
Uh,
dollars.
Oh, I was gonna say, oh, that's not bad, and then US dollars came. But
Yeah, and it's only 4K.
why?
I have no idea what I had. It's Samsung has this lifestyle TVs that they when they did the briefing they were telling us, oh, there's going to be an expansion of their lifestyle TV lineup,
Mm-hmm.
and lifestyle TV seems to be using the TVs in so many different ways. They have
Mm.
the frame, the Sero, now the Terrace. So it's really interesting. So the Sero can flip from a landscape view to a portrait view,
That sounds like a blackboard. The
right?
Samsung board that they have lah, the digital board.
Yeah, so this is a TV version of it.
Why do you want to
And
watch TV in vertical?
so their thought behind it is that when you're mirroring your phone and you have vertical videos, instead of watching it in landscape, you can flip it over to the portrait view and use that.
TikTok?
Possibly.
No,
Because
I mean
right,
that's the only thing that I can think of that you're going to watch hours and hours and hours and hours of it, okay, and not get bored. Because while TikTok is a very questionable platform for brands and marketers, you can't deny that there are viral videos there and you're getting millions and millions and millions of views from the audiences. Um, yes, it's a bit sketchy for marketers. Even for us, it's a sketchy platform to advertise on and to put our stuff on because we one we don't really know how it works. Two, it's a bit too random. The numbers are a bit too random. You don't know
yeah,
how to actually gauge the performance and things like that, and that's why we still stick to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter a little bit, but LinkedIn. Okay, because these are a lot more measurable. Okay,
yeah,
but you still can't deny the millions of popularity that TikTok people get, right? Like the influencers on TikTok, they do 15-second videos, and the world went crazy for it. That's TikTok
yeah.
basically. And I went on TikTok last week, and I can understand why people cannot get off the platform because there's a lot of weird and funny, stupid videos that you can watch, and you can spend literally hours of your time just looking through these 15-second videos. Before even you know
Wait,
it, you're watching like 100 videos already.
wait, you got a TikTok account?
I don't. That's the thing. I don't. How did I access it?
I was surprised. I was surprised because this guy took over a year to get on Facebook when we were in uni.
Wrong. 2 years.
See, and then he's like, "Wait, I've been on TikTok." You're like, "What?"
So my job now requires me to look into all these Facebook social media algorithms and stuff like that. But I've never really gotten on social media that early on. So Facebook itself, after it launched when I was in college, when I was in pre university, basically, I didn't want to get in there. A year after I started university, only I started my Facebook account. That is not before I started my Twitter account, which was done like 3-4 months prior to that.
Yep. So when he says he's been on TikTok, you're like, "What?"
Yeah, no, don't spend your time on TikTok. It's poison.
It's a rabbit hole.
Rather spend your time on GTA 5 because that's what we've been spending a lot of our time on for the past week, and I think I spent a lot of time on it yesterday.
Yeah.
It's a 7-year-old game, huh?
Yeah, but the thing that irritates me the most is the randomness of how the server will behave.
Oh
So
yeah,
like when we play online together, sometimes you're like, "Hey, let's do this heist." Crap! I just got kicked off the server.
yeah. But once you get into the servers and everything, it should be fine. I mean, last week it was crazy because probably thousands and thousands and tens and 20, 30,000 people actually tried to log in at the same time because they got the game for free on Epic Games, right? And this week is actually a little better, because less people somehow. It's just less people. Probably people got fed up, okay, of trying, okay, but the ones that persevered stayed, and you see lah, there are still a lot of people, okay, but there are times where I actually got into a server and I'm alone, completely
Mm,
alone, a public server. I'm completely alone for at least 1 hour
that's
for
not
some
bad.
reason. Yeah, it's okay. But the fun of GTA 5 is basically playing with friends lah.
Yeah.
And because of GTA 5, I haven't played any other games.
That means you haven't finished FedEx Simulator either.
No, I finished that. I've already finished Death Stranding.
Death Stranding.
So in this holidays, not holidays, this quarantine, I finished Final Fantasy 7 remake, and Death Stranding. Did I finish another game? No, I haven't finished
You're
any other
supposed
games.
to finish Horizon Zero Dawn as well.
That's on hold. I mean, the disc is in the PlayStation, but I haven't actually touched it that much. To be fair,
Yeah.
it's GTA 5 because it's
Yeah,
fun because you get to play with your friends, right?
yeah, GTA Online is fun.
Yeah,
Like
because
I think the other day we did a heist, and then after the heist, randomly I was like, punch.
yeah, but that's the thing. I think at this time where we can't see each other, the next best thing is to play games online lah, right? For us
Yeah,
gamers, at least, if you don't game that much, I can understand. Okay, but multiplayer games is where we still can interact with friends and meet new friends and interact with them pretty much nicely, like having fun with them. We can be rude to them. I think gamers are the best community lah, because we can be rude to each other and we won't take it to heart.
yeah,
Okay, so if you do game, I bid for you to check out the GTA 5. I mean, you have to buy it now, okay, because the giveaway is run out. Epic Games is
yeah.
giving away Civilization
Civ Six.
6 now, which I've just gotten, and I'm very excited to play because I really wanted to play Civ 6 when it came out. It's just that I didn't buy it for the longest time.
Yeah,
I haven't downloaded it
just make
yet,
sure
also.
Gandhi doesn't attack you.
I'll be Gandhi. But yeah, that was the things that happened last week, law basically,
the
right?
Yeah, and we also had GTC and Microsoft's build, but there were way too many announcements in those
Yeah, and they are not really consumer type announcements. They are more industry type.
developer announcements.
Yeah, developer and industry type of announcements. They talk a lot about AI for industry usage. Like in GTC, they were talking about using AI to understand human behavior or to basically detect crime, to do surveillance, and to basically understand human patterns in subways and things like that, just to understand traffic, right? That's one of
Even
the things they were
using
talking
AI
about.
in health for diagnosis of COVID and even cancer.
Oh yeah, they are already doing that. Okay, by the way, but they are going to be ramping it up with new development in their hardware, right? So they announced a new architecture for their GPU, and
Yep.
they are talking a lot about GPU based server. So kind of boring stuff. We will break it down. It's just that not now, not here, because there's too much. Even
Yeah.
Microsoft focuses on a lot of their developers and their software instead of, talking about what consumers get.
Yeah, they were focusing a lot on Azure. So Azure is their competitor to AWS. It's their
Yeah.
backbone for all their online services, basically.
And Azure also runs on top of AWS.
It can.
Yeah. So, anyway, what I'm excited about for Microsoft, at least, is their new Microsoft Surface Book 3 and their Microsoft
Yes.
Surface headphones.
The new Surface Book 3 makes so much sense.
Yeah.
It makes
I'm
so much
still
sense.
very skeptical about the hinge, but I guess I can see its appeal after seeing the Surface Book 3 in action, because yeah, you don't want it to close all the way because it's not really a laptop. It's more like a tablet, enhanced tablet when you plug it in, and you can use it both ways now, which is something that you might want to use if you do a lot of 3D designs, or even if you want to watch a movie.
Yeah, and I think the Surface Book, when we reviewed it, it didn't make much sense because we got one without a graphics card.
Yeah, you really want a
But
GPU with that.
yeah, and the fact that you can even get an Nvidia Quadro at this point
Oh yeah,
is pretty impressive.
they did say that, okay, and I went on Microsoft's website to check it out. Okay, the max that you can get right now, okay, if you're going to get a Microsoft Book 3 right now, the Surface Book 3 right now, you can't get it in Malaysia yet, by the way. But if you're getting it in US, the maximum that you can spec it on for on the website is a GTX 1660 Ti for now. Okay, so I'm not sure how they're gonna price the Quadro or how they're gonna sell the Quadro. They're probably gonna sell it to studios and industries. But for now, if you're getting it on your own, you're getting it up to a GTX 1660 Ti. So keep that in
Which
mind.
is still quite okay.
Yeah, I mean for a laptop that size, or not that size lah, but for its caliber, for what its purpose is for, and that usable, I think GTX 1660 Ti is still okay, because you gotta think of the thermals and the weight of the thing. Because if they're gonna pack a very big, very powerful GPU in there, cooling is going to be a problem. Okay, which
Yeah,
means that they have to fit bigger fans and bigger heat sinks and heat pipes, definitely, which also adds to the weight, which you don't
yeah,
really want on that kind of tablet, right? Tablet slash laptop, convertible.
yeah. And it what to be very fair, it is a very light laptop, and it because it is a two. Do we call it two in one?
I think two, three in one lah,
A
something like that lah.
a detachable laptop.
Convertible. It's not a laptop. It's not a laptop. It's a convertible tablet.
Yeah, it makes sense because you have the Surface Pen to use when you actually want to do like sketches and stuff
Yeah,
like that,
but
and even take down notes.
the Surface Pen is an extra, so you have to buy it separately.
Yeah, which I don't understand. Microsoft, bundle it together.
But it's not just Microsoft that's doing it. Okay, even Huawei is doing it now.
Yeah, even
Yeah,
Dell is as well.
yeah, and this all started from Apple.
No, it started with Microsoft, the convertible nonsense.
No, 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 no. The actual the actual stylus type that is only specifically for a single use case, right? That started
Oh
with the
yeah.
Apple Pencil.
Yes.
Yeah, so innovators, guys, innovators.
Also, yeah.
Yeah, and they're selling the Apple Pencil for 99 US dollars. There you
Yeah,
go.
about 400 ringgit.
Yeah, but I think that's all we have. That's all the time we have for today. Also, we've gone on for about 40 minutes now. Uh,
Yeah.
Random things about last week and random things that we did last week, including GTA 5. Although that's the only thing that we did last week.
Pretty much.
And we are now on Raya holidays. We are coming to an end of May. Um, MCO is started. Well, what is it
The
called again?
CMCO.
Yeah. So CMCO is conditional movement control order. Still a state sanctioned quarantine at a limited capacity. It's supposed to end on the 9th of June. Okay, that's at least that's what we heard. We don't know what's happening yet. We are probably still going to be working from home for a while. I'm guessing that a lot of people are going to work from home for a while more as well. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's what we're guessing. But all in all, we hope that everyone stays safe in these trying times and stay encouraged, stay hydrated, okay, and keep washing your face and your hands, you know, as usual, as per usual. But I guess that you're starting to miss your friends, and right now you can go to your friend's house, but I suggest that you do that in caution. Still take your precautions, okay? If your friend's coming to your house, spray them the whole way. I'm kidding.
Take
Disinfect
sanitizer and just spray the heck out of them.
or build a separation chamber where you can sanitize them first before they come in, like what they did in the police stations in Malaysia. They actually have a sanitation um um not pod, kind of a tent before you go into the police station or before you go out,
Yeah.
which is a good way lah. I mean, it's a good way to keep yourself clean, but just stay safe. That's our point, right? Stay safe, stay
Stay
healthy.
social.
Stay social. If you can't see your friends, play games or
Play games, video chat.
yeah, video chats. But playing games for us is the best because we get to do something also, right? Just hanging out,
Yes.
just hanging out, just hanging out. But I've seen people already starting to jog and things like that. We ourselves has gone out a little bit to get our own things done, like
Oh
fixing
yes.
our laptops and things like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and getting groceries basically, right? So while we do go out, we still do take our precautions. We still do try to stay safe, and we try to do that as little as possible as well. Still, but
Yep.
it's good to smell the fresh air or other people's
Yep.
air.
No. Don't smell other people's air. Remember to social distance.
Yes, please do keep your distancing from your friends. Even if you're dining in, please be careful. I suggest you don't dine in lah. Okay, that's my suggestion.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's quite inevitable, so yeah, you can't do anything about it, right? Sometimes. But stay safe, stay distance, and Happy Aidil Fitri. Aidil Fitri. Yeah.
Yeah.
Selamat
Eid
Hari Raya.
Mubarak.
Eid Mubarak. Maaf Zahir Batin. If we've made a mistake and things like that, please do tell us. We do apologize though if we do
Yeah.
offend any people, any parties at all. Still, this has been fun. It has been a fun 45 minutes for us talking about
Yep.
our lives for the past week. We hope that the MCO gets lifted and the conditions get better, you know, in that. If it doesn't get better, I hope the MCO continues.
Yeah, and don't forget you can always get the roundup of the week's news on our YouTube channel with our download as well.
Yes, and for all the articles of the things that has happened in the week or the past week or the coming week, reviews and things like that, please do check out our website. That's our staple, okay? We do check out our website at www.techent.tv. I'm Darwin. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at DARS1225. And Jeevan is on Instagram as GS
Nurjeevan.
Nurjeevan. Just Nurjeevan,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So that's NURJEEVAN. You can follow both of us. If you want to see like no posting for 1 month and then one post, and no stories
Yeah.
at all. I mean, we're quite boring people on our own social media, okay? To be really, really, really honest. But yeah, you can follow us there for the latest update. But you can also follow us on TechENT TV on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Twitter anyway. I think that's the best
Yeah.
that you can follow us on because we are more active then. And enjoy your holidays for Hari Raya, guys. If you're watching
Yep.
this or you're
Uh,
listening to this from Malaysia, you know?
Even overseas, actually.
Yeah. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening in. Actually, thank you for listening
Yep.
in because there's not much
And
people
stay
watching right now,
tuned.
actually. Yeah. But thank you for listening in. Stay tuned for the Tech and Download next week. That's done by me, and also the Tech and Tonic podcast that's coming up next week as well. That's done by us and probably another guest other than Craig. You know,
Yep.
yeah. But that's it for now. Thank you. Bye bye.
See ya.